Hi everyone, welcome to Poetry with Shing. Today we'll be exploring the poem The Portrait of a Sentence Library by Alfian. There are two questions for today. The first question is, with reference to the first two stanzas, how does the speaker feel about the library being torn down? In the first two stanzas, the speaker feels unhappy to the extent of defiance towards the library being torn down. Although the library was to be torn down, the speaker felt that the library was not truly lost. Furthermore, he mocks the idea of the destruction of the library, conveying his feelings of strong resistance towards the tearing down of the library. The speaker feels unhappy to the extent of defiance towards the library being torn down. In the first line of the poem, the speaker starts with an abrupt "so," revealing the seemingly matter-of-fact tone of the speaker. However, it is soon indicated that the speaker feels absolute discontent towards the tearing down of the library, as shown through how the books will still not have learnt to spread their wings and fly. The word choice of "still" shows emphasis and also conveys the speaker's strong opinion that despite the library's impending destruction, the books that were stored in the library were not treasured to their true value. One would think that when the library was due to be demolished, that it has served its due purpose, but the word choice of "still" here conveys otherwise, suggesting a tone of defiance spurred by unhappiness in the speaker, that the demolishing of the library was unjustified, as the books have not served their purpose of meaningfully enlightening readers. Furthermore, the use of imagery in the pigeon from the line, like pigeons from a shaken tree, shows how the freedom and power of knowledge has been rudely disrupted by the demolishing of the library, as pigeons, especially messenger pigeons, symbolize the sharing of knowledge and the communication and learning that takes place between books and their readers. The rude disturbance of the peace and meaningful engagement of readers to books that the library provides is represented by the shaken tree, as shaken connotes a natural disturbance and disruption, which is the demolishing of the library. As such, the speaker expresses his unhappiness of the impending demolishing of the library by raising that the library has not served its due purpose and thus should continue existing to benefit more people. Thus, he is unhappy with its demolishing. His unhappiness also borders on defiance, as the tone of the first stanza, especially with the provocative imagery of the disturbed pigeons and the retort of "so," reveals his defiant nature towards the demolishing of the library. However, although the library was due to be torn down, he felt that the library in its essence was not truly lost. In the second stanza, the speaker uses the word balustrade to describe what the construction firms would tear down. Balustrade connotes frame, showing that although the library in its physical state will be demolished, its inner goodness, which is the wealth of knowledge from the books, continue to remain with the people. The speaker also takes on a hopeful tone that the library will be rebuilt and given a new life somewhere else, as suggested by perhaps reassembled somewhere else. Despite the speaker's words, there is the sense of his mocking of the destruction of the library. In the poem's first two stanzas, the speaker looks at the library not as a whole but a sum of its parts. The word choice of bricks, books, and balustrade illustrate this point. Instead of outrightly stating that the library was due to be demolished, the speaker breaks the library into its different parts, and his line that the bricks will be torn down and not the library hints at his mocking of the efforts to demolish the building, as it is merely the physical structure that is destroyed. In a way, he is criticizing and mocking the act of demolishing such an infrastructure, as it does nothing to affect the inner essence of the library and its true worth, which is to spread and make knowledge widely available to all. The mocking opinion of the speaker can further be seen in the word choice of reassembled, showing the ease of reconstructing a library, as if it were a toy model that just needed to be reassembled. The fact that reconstructing a library is easy further discounts the efforts of demolishing it, revealing the speaker's mocking attitude towards the demolishing of the library. Overall, the speaker harbors negative feelings towards the tearing down of the library. The speaker demonstrates his unhappiness through his defiant tone and mocking attitude towards the demolishing of the library, while remaining certain that the value of the library will not be lost with its destruction. Now moving on to the second part of the question. which is discuss how things of the past are described, paying close attention to the imagery and language used by the poet. The things of the past, be it objects or places, are described in a nostalgic tone. The speaker describes the things of the past as largely dilapidated and in an abandoned state. They are also described as being very distant from his daily life, bringing in the speaker's nostalgic tone. The way the things of the past were gotten rid of and ceased to be a part of his life in the present is also presented in a criticizing tone. The speaker describes the things of the past as largely dilapidated and in an abandoned state. The descriptions of the conditions and state of Van Cleef Aquarium and Capitol Cinema are shattered glass and ragged screen, respectively. Both descriptions connote a state of disuse and destruction. The strong descriptors shattered and ragged suggest that these places of the past seem to be purposely destroyed and not gradually reduced to a state of disuse over time. As shattered suggests the deliberate action of destruction, and ragged is somewhat a personification of the screen to be purposely mistreated and thus destroyed. Furthermore, the firecracker that makes no sound indicates how eerily quiet the world the speaker lives in is, indicating the lack of life and vibrancy with the loss of things of the past. The things of the past are described as very distant from his daily life, which brings in the speaker's nostalgic tone. The speaker asks a rhetorical question of who can guarantee that roaming through a tunnel he will find again the children's section. The connotation of roaming through a tunnel shows the distant and secretive nature of the memories of the things of the past, showing how these memories are hard to come by and thus are not closely related, but rather detached from his daily life. The line "only in dreams under separate stars" further emphasizes this point, as the things of the past are described as something from an alternate universe and entirely separate from the speaker, thus revealing the speaker's yearn for the things of the past and his nostalgic tone. The way the things of the past were being removed and destroyed is presented in a criticizing tone. The lines "one symbol left in Chinatown, blueprints and forums and rhetoric ensue, that a firecracker makes no sound" reveals most strikingly the speaker's criticism towards the way the things of the past are demolished. The imagery of one symbol vividly paints a picture of incompletion and lack of finality and closure. With one symbol, one cannot use the instrument, and while this brings quiet to the surroundings, the true essence of the instrument cannot be experienced. This is linked to how the speaker is trying to say that Chinatown's Chinese culture is now incomplete and not doing the Chinese justice as it is represented by the one symbol left. The speaker is also mocking the way things are demolished through how, with blueprints and forums and rhetoric, a firecracker makes no sound. The speaker is saying that mere talk and plans, as connoted by blueprints and forums and rhetoric, wields more power than the blast of the firecracker, any architecture being demolished, such that a towering authority can decide to quell any unrest or resistance against any architecture being demolished, as suggested by the noise firecrackers make going silent, and is also representative of the lack of justice the destroying of things of the past brings to the vibrant culture that the society the speaker lives in has. Want to see another poem being analysed? Comment in the comment section below.